Hey guys, happy Thursday. It's Miss K. I'm going to start by going over the follow-up questions from our review lesson on multiplying fractions. So it says the track at a school is 2/3 of a mile long. If Diego runs 1/3 of the way around the track, what fraction of a mile does he run? So there's two ways to do this. We see the word of. So this is signaling that this question is part of a total. He's only running part 1/3 of the way around the track. So we're taking 1/3 of 2/3. So if I did this using a model, I could draw a rectangle like this. Split it into thirds. So here's 2/3. I'm a lightly shaded in. Remember, not so dark. And I'm taking 1/3 of 2/3, so I'm going to take 1/3, split the other way into thirds, and here's 1/3 of it. And I'm going to shade darker where they overlap. So 1/3 of 2/3 is 2 holes, or not 2 holes, 2 out of the total amount of pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2/9. So what fraction of a mile does he run? 2/9. If I did this using an algorithm, I am writing a expression 2/3 times 1/3. I am multiplying the numerators, which is 2, multiplying the denominators, which is 9. So we get a product of 2/9, which makes sense. He's running 2/9 of a mile. If this whole thing is the entire mile, he's running 2 out of the 9 sections. Let's go over follow-up 2. Claire plays her favorite song 6 times on repeat while she gets ready for school in the morning. If the song is 3 9/10 minutes long, how long does it usually take Claire to get ready in the morning? So she listens to her favorite song 6 times, not 1 time. So this is an example of repeated addition. I could add this fraction 6 times, but that would take a long time. So I have an equation, 3 9/10 times 6. To me, there's 2 number sentences that we're going to write from this. We're going to do the whole numbers, 3 times 6. Then we're going to do the fractional pieces, 9/10 times 6. So if I do 3 times 6, I get 18. If I do the fractional piece, 9 times 6 gives me 54 tenths. Remember, I do not change the denominator because otherwise I would be making an equivalent fraction. That's not multiplication. So now I'm asking myself, how many wholes are there in there? If I roll my 10s, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, there are 5 wholes. And 4/10 left over. So if I add the parts, 18 plus 5 gives me 23 wholes and 4/10 left over. So how long does it usually take Claire to get ready in the morning? 23 minutes and 4/10 of a minute. You could also reduce 4/10 by dividing by 2 and you would get 2/5, or 23 2/5 of a minute. Okay. We're going to start with a warm-up today to review calculating the volume of a figure. So there are 2 figures here. I would like you to calculate the volume of figure 1 and figure 2. Go ahead and do this now. All right, so to calculate the volume, there are many ways to do it. We could count the layers if we know the area of each layer, or we can multiply all three dimensions, the length, the width, and the height. So let's count out the length here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have a width of 3, 1, 2, 3. And I have a height, I'm counting up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can multiply this together in any way I want. 4 times 3 times 5, and it doesn't matter the order. I could do 4 times 3 is 12, and 12 times 5 is 60. To get me 60 units cubed for this one. If I do the other one over here, I'm going to do the same thing. I have 8 times 4 times 8. It really doesn't matter which way I do it. 8 times 4 is 32. Now I can do 32 times 8, which I might need to write up and down to figure that out. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. Plus 1 is 25. So this has a volume of 256 inches cubed. Remember, it's inches cubed because 1, we're filling it. Imagine we're filling the boxes with little cubes. 2, there are 3 dimensions, the length, the width, and the height. And it's a 3D shape. So this little 3 is representative of the 3 things we multiplied, the length, the width, and the height. Okay, as a reminder, before we get into the challenge today, volume is the space inside a 3-dimensional shape. Area is the space inside a 2-dimensional shape, but we're talking about volume. It can be calculated by multiplying the length, width, and height together. All right, hey guys, so here's the deal. It's Thursday. If we were in school, I had a little secret to tell you. Tomorrow is actually my birthday. Kind of crazy now in this time. Not like you could really go anywhere, but it is my birthday. So I want to show you something that came in the mail today. The doorbell rang and 2 boxes appeared. Here's a box. And here's a box. Now, my mom in New Jersey said she sent me a birthday present. Maybe the other one's from Brian. I don't know. And I want to make a guess or a prediction. What did I possibly get for my birthday? So I want to think about the volume of the box, the space inside. First, doesn't everyone always do it? Don't you like shake it to see, what does it sound like? Oh, I don't really hear anything. Or shake this to see it. It's kind of long. Look, if I stand it up this way, or this way, or this way, all different ways, it's pretty long blocks. This one, just giving you all the different angles. So, as we know, volume, to calculate the volume of a box, you do the length times the width times the height. So we're going to measure the length, width, and height of each of these boxes. So hold on, here we go. Now, I don't want any fractional amounts, so I'm going to do this and round to the nearest whole number. So imagine this is the length of my box. It's roughly 12 inches or 1 foot long. Okay, now this is the length. Let's do the width on the side of the box. Also, roughly 12 inches long or 1 foot long. So far, my length and the width are the same. Now, I'm looking for the height of the box. How tall is this box? Let's think, how tall could the item be that I might want? Kind of a good guess. Like, does it look like a shirt would fit in there? A sweatshirt? Shoes? What do you think? Gonna measure it. Roughly 7 inches long. So for the first box, I have a length of 12, a width of 12 inches, and a height of 7 inches. Now, let's look at this box. Now remember, when we calculate the volume, It doesn't matter the order we do it. So I could make this the length. I could make this the height, or even the width if I did it on the side. It doesn't really matter. So let's do it from this way. So this was the way that I thought to measure it. So let's do the length. Yep, the length, roughly 5 inches. All right, my width. If I hold it out like this, my width is going all the way across. What would the width be? Good thing I have. Ooh, let's try that again. Now remember, I'm calling it the width. I could also call it the height if I stood it up this way. It doesn't matter because the orders of the numbers, when we multiply, doesn't matter. Ooh, roughly 35 inches. And then the last measurement, if I'm calling this the height, or how tall the box is when it's this way. Oops. Kind of hard. I hope I didn't break my birthday present. This is probably weird. Is 5 inches. So, again, this box, we have a length of 5, a width of 35 inches, and a height of 5 inches. What do we think it is? So our goal right now is to figure out the volume of both boxes and to determine what did I get for my birthday. Okay, so let's summarize some things. I put the boxes that I just measured that you saw me bring in on the table so you could see them. And to make this even more helpful, I put the dimensions of the box. So the smaller box had a length of 12 inches, a width of 12 inches, and a height of 7 inches. And this box, the long box, had a length of 5 inches, a width of 35 inches, and a height of 5 inches. So your job right now is to write down things you notice and wonder about the boxes. Take 5 minutes to do this. Write down notices and wonders. Here are some things I noticed and wondered when I was doing this. The dimensions of the small box are, the length is 12 inches, the width is 12 inches, and the height is 7 inches. The dimensions of the longer box are, the length is 5 inches, the width was 35 inches, and the height was 5 inches. Here are some wonders. I wonder what type of presents will fit in the boxes. Why do the boxes have these particular dimensions? And how do I calculate the total volume of each box? And how do I calculate the volume of both boxes together? So now, I would like you to pause and solve the problem. Clearly, Bucky has an opinion on this right now because he's speaking very loudly. So again, here are the boxes. I'm going to leave you with the box pictures with the dimensions on it so you could go ahead and solve the problems. All right, so now I'm going to calculate the volume of both boxes. Let's start with the first one. If we have a length of 12 inches, a width of 12 inches, and a height of 7 inches, all I need to do is write a number sentence that shows that I am multiplying the three of them. Length times width times height. So here I'm going to write it. 12 times 12 times 7. So 12 times 12 gives me 144. And then I'm multiplying it by 7. 144 times 7. 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 2 is 30. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 3 is 10. So this small box has a volume of 1008 inches cubed. And remember, it's inches cubed because I'm multiplying the length, the width, and the height. Okay, let's look at the box that was really long on one side. I have a length of 5, a width of 35 inches, and a height of 5 inches. So I'm writing a number sentence again, and I'm multiplying 35 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25, 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17, so I have 175 inches. Multiplying that by 5. Five times 5 is 25. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 2 is 37. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 875 inches cubed. So I want to talk about this for a second. Even though that box had a width that was really, really long, 35 inches, it actually has a volume that's a lot smaller than the short, stocky box. So you could actually fit a lot more in the small box, okay? But it's the way it's designed. The box was made that long because you don't need something that's that tall or that long that way. They want it to be a width that's really, really long, or a height it's really, really long. So think something that's like skinny and narrow. Something like that, like almost like a stick sort of shape. Here, this box is kind of like fatter. Shorter and fatter, but you could fit more along all the layers of the box. So we're still unsure what did I get for my birthday, but these are some things to keep in mind. Now, if I wanted to know the volume altogether, all I have to do is add the numbers. Remember, I'm not multiplying them because they are each their own separate box. So we can add 8 plus 5 is 13. 1 plus 8 is 1 plus 7 is 8. 0 plus 8 is 8. And I have 1. So 1,883 inches cubed for both boxes together. All right, so now that we've tried to see what the volume of the boxes are that have my birthday presents in it, here are some reflections. Volume is the space inside a three-dimensional shape. The units for volume are cubic units because we have 3 dimensions. In this example, we used inches cubed. Boxes could have the same volume but look different because they are made to fit particular items. So it's the way that's spaced out. Like in my example, I had one really long box this way, which was the width. Or I could have a box that's like I drew before, shorter but fatter. So it could hold more things. To calculate the volume of a rectangular prism, we multiply the length times the width times the height. If you have 2 boxes and want to find the total volume, all you have to do is add the volume of each box together. So here are 2 follow-up questions. Find the volume of this figure and write out the expressions you use to find the volume. Think about, is there 1 box there or 2 boxes? Follow-up 2. What is the volume of this figure? Explain how you solved it. Think about how you could cut that figure into 2 separate boxes. If you have any questions about what I talked about in this video, please let me know by emailing me your responses or messaging me on Dojo. Please email me your responses to the follow-up questions. And also, of course, please email me your responses of what you think I got for my birthday based on the volume of the box. So now that you know the volume of the boxes, what items might fit in those boxes? And another question, would the items have to have a volume that is exactly the same size of the box or slightly smaller? I will reveal what I got for my birthday on Tuesday's video. Have a wonderful weekend. I miss you all very, very much. See you on Tuesday. Bye, guys. You are finally calm now. Seriously.